Good morning. Welcome to How Are We Here, my little channel where I can share with you all the neat things I read, watch, or look up on the interweb. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about how we are here according to the Hindu cosmology. So sit back and let me tell you a few tales. In my searches for old legends of creation, I decided to see how the Hindus thought we all came about, and boy, are there a lot. It appears to me that Hindus view the beginning only the beginning of the current cycle, with many universes existing, and the creation, rise, and fall of each one. It leads to many variations. I'm going to cover a few of these tales the best I can. Like many of the tales, let's go back before the beginning, before the world, and before the sky, before space. All was quiet. There was an ocean, a flat, wide lake, with its edges lapping at the emptiness of the void that lay beyond. Upon these calm waters was a cobra. Some say the cobra was A.T.T, the serpent king. In the serpent's coils, eyes closed, undisturbed and at peace, there was Lord Vishnu. Nothing moved, not the snake, not the god, not the water. Everything was perfection in its stillness. But a sound began. Slow at first, its humming grew. It throbbed into a pulse. Eventually, the sound began to pulse more, energy building within like a heartbeat. Thump, thump, thump. Lord Vishnu opened their eyes. It was time. The world was ready to be born. My dear viewers, Vishnu looked out over the calm waters. It was time. And with that thought, in that moment, a lotus flower grew and bloomed from Vishnu's navel. In that flower was Brahma, the creator. Brahma, with his head bowed before Vishnu, he waited. It is time, Brahma, time for the world to begin. Time to begin your work. In that single lotus flower is all that you need. Create a world that will live forever, till I declare the end of time itself. Begin. As Vishnu spoke, a huge wind gathered. The ocean howled. The serpent and Lord Vishnu, they disappeared from sight. Now, all alone, Brahma and his lotus boat was swept around the churning sea. Brahma would raise his arms, and the wind would die down. The sea fell back to its calmed state. He would stand and divide the lotus into three parts. The first part was heaven. Then came the earth, and finally the sky. In a single moment, the world had begun. Brahma then created plants, grass, trees, vegetables, and fruit to adorn the earth. Then he gave them the sense of touch. Brahma would then, listeners, create animals and insects, both large and small, for the land, for the sea, and for the air. Some he would make with fur, some with feathers, and I think you get the point. He also gave them the sense of touch, but also sight, smell, hearing, and most importantly, the power to move. The earth was now filled with flurry and bustle, crashing branches, swishing and swooping, and all the good stuff of nature. The new creatures, they went off to find homes. They dispersed to every corner of creation. But Brahma, he wasn't done yet. The world needed a master, someone to enjoy it, someone to take care of it. The world would last forever, as his Lord Vishnu had commanded. Brahma would sit quietly in the stillness left from before. It took a while, but Brahma's thoughts began to take shape. At first, it was just a whisper of white air. Then it became a glowing, shimmering cloud. As it grew thicker and denser, it began to take the shape of a god, a new god made from the thought of Brahma. Brahma, he was delighted. A creature made in a god's image would surely take charge of the world. They would care for it, just as Lord Vishnu commanded. But guess what? This creature, this god, it didn't move. Its eyes remained shut, not even looking out upon the new world. Brahma, he would realize the issue, because it was made from his thought. All it wanted to do was sit there and think deeply about God. The new God, he was too simple. It was too flawless. A being born of thought had no action, and Brahma then realized he would need that power to complete Vishnu's command. What power did Brahma need? He would need action. He would need both thought and action. So utilizing more than his mind, utilizing his body as well, his whole self would be required to make another creature, a creature that would want to open their eyes and be happy, be fulfilled by what was created, and to be filled by the Creator. Brahma knew there was only one certain way to do this. Filled with happiness himself, that he was carrying out Lord Vishnu's orders, Brahma divided himself. He divided his body in two. In a moment where there was one, there was now two, equal and unblemished, a reflection of the image of the other. Brahma, somehow still there, shaped them. Out of one he made man, and out of the other he made woman. Manu the wise, and Shartarupa the mysterious. Manu and Shataupa, whom were created out of Brahma himself, looked at one another. They smiled as they gazed into the other's hearts. Gently grasping each other's hands, they walked out into the world that Brahma had given them. They took charge of their responsibility, the joy and duty laid upon them by Lord Vishnu at the beginning of time. These two were the first people, the ancestors of the entire human race. There was only Brahman, the ultimate reality that resides within all phenomenon. Suddenly, the universe became an expanse of water. In that water, Vishnu was in a golden egg. Vishnu would create Brahma, whom had four faces. Brahma would then create the Devas, celestial beings representing aspects of the cosmos. And from his mind, several sons would be created. Daughters would come forth. Daksha, Daksha's wife. Other Devas would come forth. And the Rishi, Kashipa. And finally, Kashipata married 13 of Daksha's daughters, and all the other Devas and the creatures were born through them. Brahma also created Gandharva, divine performers for the Devas. Asuras, powerful, superhuman demigods with both bad and good qualities. The Rakshasas, malevolent beings. And Yakshas, nature spirits, benevolent but mischievous. Brahma would also create the Manushas, which is mankind, and the Pitras, spirits of the ancestors. And from various other parts of Brahma's body, he would create even more creatures. Snakes would come from his hair, sheep from his chest, goats would come from his mouth, and cows would come from his stomach, other creatures from his feet, and even weirder, his body hair would become herbs. The four Varnas, castes of Hindu society, would also come from his body parts, while the four Vedas, sacred Hindu texts that originally were passed through sound, came from his mouth. Vishnu exists as an eternal ocean, from which a golden egg, some call it the cosmic egg, it emerges. Brahma creates himself within the egg and breaks it open, coming into existence. He then creates the universe, the earth, other things, and mankind. Manu, a devout priest loved by the gods, is one of these people. Some Hindu texts, such as the Shatapatha Brahmana, recount a great flood. Manu recounts how he was warned by a fish that he had previously done a kindness to, that a flood would destroy the whole of humanity. He therefore built the boat, as the fish advised. When the flood came, he tied his boat to the fish's horn, and he was safely steered to a resting place upon a mountain. When the flood receded, Manu, the sole human survivor, performed a sacrifice, pouring oblations of butter and sour milk into the waters. And after a year, a woman was born from the waters, and she announced herself as the daughter of Manu. These two then became the ancestors of a new human race to replenish the earth. In the great epic of the Bharata dynasty, the fish is identified with the god Brahma, while in the Puranas, which is ancient lore, it is Matsya, the fish incarnation of the Lord Vishnu. So, according to some Western scholars, some of these Hindu traditions could be the product of 5,000-ish years of development. Some roots could stretch back to the civilization of the Indus Valley, which was prospering 4 to 5,000 years ago. However, maybe the origins to this religion, which is shrouded in mystery, and according to those same Hindu scriptures, may just be millions of years old. There are many Hindu creation stories, but the ones I shared with you today can help explain one of the major Hindu beliefs: reincarnation. You may have noticed the cycles with Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva I put into this video. To expand just a little bit more on Hinduism, this world is not the first world, nor is this universe the first universe. There has been, and will be, many, many more worlds and universes, more than the drops of water in the holy Ganges River. This universe, and the ones before and yet to come, are made by Lord Brahma, the Creator. It is all maintained by Lord Vishnu, the Preserver. And finally, it is destroyed by Lord Shiva. Since the universes must be destroyed before they can be recreated, Lord Shiva is called the Destroyer and Recreator. These three gods are all forms of the Supreme One, and part of the Supreme One. The Supreme One is behind and beyond all. And after each old universe is destroyed, nothing is left but a vast ocean. Some tales say the Supreme One is Vishnu, and Brahma and Shiva are both aspects of him. But some say all three are equally aspects of the Supreme One. Like I said, there are more stories, and it seems the Hindu religion, like other religions, evolve over time. It's neat to find a constant like this throughout humanity. But to wrap up, I enjoyed learning about these Hindu creation stories. I had heard, of course, of the three main gods, but didn't know much more than that Shiva was the destroyer. I definitely plan to take a deeper look into Hinduism, and hopefully share those stories with you all at a later time. Hey y'all, I could really use your help. I've been posting videos for a month or so now, and I really want to reach a wider audience. If you enjoyed this video at all, please watch or rewatch my older videos. I do have a playlist set up. Like them, let me know which of the creation stories is your favorite so far. Share on your other social media, and of course, subscribe. I really enjoy making these videos, and I want to reach a wider audience. Thank you no matter what you decide to do. Thank you for making it this far into this video. Hey, don't go yet. If you enjoyed hearing some of the stories on how the Hindus thought we got here, maybe you'll like hearing about other creation stories. I have a few other tales on the channel. Please, take a view. TLDR, I'm just some guy on the YouTube who did some reading on an interesting topic and shared it the best I could. Thank you all again. Have a great day, and take care. Keep safe.